Oh, how are you, Jason? It's Ray Wheatley. How are you, buddy?
Hey, mate, how are you?
Very good, Jason. Thanks for talking to me, Jason.
Pleasure, mate. How have you been?
Very good, Jason. Very good, mate. Everyone's talking about your big fight, mate, with Inoue coming up, eh?
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, mate,
Very
yeah.
exciting.
It's not beyond you, mate, to score an upset there.
No, that's right. We believe we can do it. That's why we've taken the fight. We've had our eye on this fight for a fair while, and it's always been a fight that I've wanted, and I've got the opportunity now. So yeah, very excited, and yeah, obviously going into the fight, really believing that we can beat him, and obviously a lot of other people will sort of write me off, but that doesn't bother me at all. That's gives me extra motivation to go out there and shock the world.
Oh, mate, I think you're going to do it, buddy.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, a lot of people are thinking that way, Jason. Jason, you've got Bob Arum thinking very highly of you, mate. He said just recently that he regards this fight, Inoue versus Jason Moloney, as the fight that could be the fight of the year. So he knows you're in there, that you're going to test him right out.
Yeah, that's right. Bob's an absolute legend, and to have him sort of believing in me, backing me, giving me this massive opportunity, and also obviously showing a lot of excitement for the fight is just unbelievable. So I think he's a smart man. He's been around boxing for a long time, and I think he's right. I think it is going to be fight of the year.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
It's a pleasure to be a part of it. That's what I want. I'm in this sport. I've dedicated my life to the sport for 17 years, and this is what I want. I want to be in these big fights. I want to achieve something special in my career. So this is the opportunity to achieve maybe one of the biggest wins for an Australian boxing.
That's right, mate. In the history of Australian boxing, mate. Yeah, this will go down with the great victories of our Australian fighters in the history of Australian boxing. Now, mate, you've started your camp, Jason.
Yeah.
And how long ago, mate?
Well, I don't really.
So you're trying pretty regular, are you?
Yeah, I don't start and stop camps really. We train all year round. I always like to keep myself in great shape, but between fights, I'm always trying to improve as much as I can. So I don't particularly start and stop camps. Obviously, things ramp up a little bit now, and we start doing a lot more sparring and things like that. But I'm always training. I had a week off after the last fight in June, but that was it. I was straight back in the gym, and yeah, I'm already in great shape, already sparring, 10 rounds, and feeling fantastic. So we're heading away. We're flying over to Vegas on the 29th. So
29th.
less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you'll be there for a month, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the situation, Jason? So you're in isolation in the hotel for 2 weeks? When you get over there?
Vegas, you mean?
Yeah, when you go to Vegas.
No, from what I believe, the same as last time. Once we landed, we were okay to we were in a private house.
Yeah.
They said we advised that you self-quarantine for 2 weeks, but it's not like it is here in Australia where you're properly policed and put in a hotel and, proper isolation.
All right.
But for us, we were being very careful anyway, because obviously if any of us got the coronavirus by chance, the fight would be off, and we're flying over there and have to come home without having a fight, and obviously missed a massive opportunity. So when we go over there, we stay in a private house, and we really do be careful. We don't really go out and do anything. We just train in the gym, in the top-ranked gym, and come home and keep to ourselves. And then obviously before the fight, the week of the fight, we go into the MGN top rank buckle, where you are completely isolated and tested every second day, and strict measures are put in place to make sure that nothing happens on the week of the fight.
That's great, Jason. You're very well organised, mate. And the good thing is you just recently had that fight in June with Baez, and so you know how it all works over there, mate. So it's going to be it's not going to be a problem. Now, Jason, Inoue's most recent fight against Naoya, where he was pushed to he really extended in that fight.
Yeah.
That must give you confidence, mate, that he is beatable.
Yeah, definitely. And I've always felt that. I know a lot of people thought that Inoue was going to just walk through Donaire, but I didn't think that would be the case. Donaire's obviously a great fighter and achieved a lot of in his career as well. So I thought it would be one of those fights, and like you said, Donaire had plenty of good moments through that fight. He hurt Inoue a couple of times and definitely showed that Inoue is human and he is beatable.
Exactly.
And that does give me good confidence, because I've done some sparring with Donaire in the past and done very well as well.
Oh, good. That's great.
Yeah. So
Where did you spar him? Where did you spar him, Jason? Donaire.
I sparred him on 2 occasions in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas.
Coming back probably 2 years, I think.
Yeah. Well, when you look at it, it was a 36-year-old there that's pushed Inoue very good. Robert Hoyle was a very good judge. Only had it 114, 113. So very close fight.
That's right. So yeah, it does give me a lot of confidence. And I'll plan on, pushing Inoue even harder. I actually thought Donaire perhaps let him off the hook a couple of times throughout that fight, and maybe didn't put the pressure on him that I plan on doing. So I think I can do a lot better, and obviously I'll need to, because I want to win the fight. I don't just want to have a close fight like Donaire did.
Jerry, you both boxed 2 common opponents, right? So you both fought Emmanuel Rodriguez, which most people thought you beat Rodriguez, and you also fought Kono, who you both stopped in 6 rounds, mate. So what's your thoughts on Inoue's power? Do you think he's a bit overrated within the power department, or?
No, I don't. I think he is
explosive.
A devastating puncher. But I mean, at the real top level, you don't want to be wearing your opponent's cleaner shots anyway. I think anyone, most guys have sort of knockout power at that real top elite level.
Yeah.
So obviously there will be times where I will have to wear a couple of shots. This is boxing. You don't, as they say, you don't swim without getting wet. But
exactly.
I don't plan on letting him, land his explosive knockout punches like he has, on some of his other opponents. I plan on, being smart in there and seeing the shots and being completely focused and confident throughout the whole fight and taking control of the fight. So I do, rate his knockout power, and I'll go in there obviously and be well aware that I don't want to be taking his best shot. So I'll have to be switched on and focused at all times, but that's what you've got to do at the elite level.
Exactly. Now, do you think you might have the edge in skill? Like he's the better puncher, but do you think you might, skill-wise, you could be, and maybe a better work rate?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, we'll find out. But yeah, I do think so. And I think at times he's quite reckless, whereas I'm probably a bit more calculated and maybe a bit more better defensively, possibly. I think because he does back his power so much, he's very aggressive and he opens himself up to getting caught himself.
That's great, Jason. Now, Jason, you were very impressive in your last fight, mate, against Leonardo Baez. You stopped even 7. Mate, you seem physically stronger than in your previous fights. Has your strength and conditioning been upgraded, or who was your strength and conditioning coach?
No, I do all my strength and conditioning with Angelo.
Okay.
I feel like I'm really just coming into my absolute peak. I'm feeling really strong at bantamweight now. And I believe that I'll be much stronger than Inoue physically. And I think, as you saw in my last fight, I'm quite strong.
Because he's a big guy, Baez, wasn't he?
He was a very big guy, and normally fighting at super bantamweight, so he was a big guy, and I had strength.
You were physically stronger. Yeah, it was obvious.
I think that is a real great asset of mine, and I'll go into this fight even stronger again. I think I'm only getting better and only getting stronger, and I've really developed that proper man strength that people talk about. So this is I'm in the peak of my career. I'm 29, and this is the time for me to put it all on the line, test myself against the absolute best.
Yeah.
And I'm backing myself all the way.
Have you brought in any other? I know you've got an excellent sparring partner in your brother Andrew, but have you brought any other sparring partners in, especially for this fight?
Yeah, we've got some good sparring organised once we land in Las Vegas.
Right.
Tony Tolges has sorted out. But I've also just been getting some good work here locally. This morning I did some rounds with Luke Boyd.
Luke Boyd, yeah. Yeah.
I've been sparring Sam Goodman as well.
Sam Goodman.
Another very talented guy. Vegas Larfield is another guy from Queensland I've been getting some rounds with. So we're really making the most of what we've got here and getting plenty of rounds in with some of the best bantams and super bantams we have in the country. And then obviously once we get to America, we'll have some real world-class sparring lined up over there for the last sort of months of preparation.
And your trainer, Angelo Hyder, is he devised a plan A for you and a plan B?
Yeah. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. Angelo's reads the fight
very well,
I believe. And
very well experienced at the top level.
Yeah, and together obviously we've really knuckled down on Inoue now, but I've sat down with Angelo plenty of times over the past few years, and we've always had our eyes on Inoue, and we've always seen things with Inoue. Obviously, I can't go into too much detail because it could get back to him, but there's things that we see that we think that I do very well that will work against Inoue.
Okay.
We've put together a really good game plan, like you said, Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, and we go in there and give us absolutely everything we've got.
So Inoue unbeaten as a pro, but he was beaten 6 times in the amateur ranks, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Did you see any of those fights? Have you seen any of those fights on YouTube?
No, I haven't actually. Andrew, my brother, was at a couple of international tournaments, I think, where Inoue competed at and saw him fight as an amateur. But look, I don't...
you wouldn't count that, but he's changed. Yeah.
Yeah, I was beaten a few times as an amateur too, and obviously that's, you're improving all the time. So, your amateurs are really your apprenticeship, and I think he's obviously a completely different fighter to what he was back then. So I don't take too much thought into that.
No.
But I guess, he has been beaten, and obviously that shows that it can be done, and I plan on doing that and being the first professional to be.
Do you think that Nito Donaire is the first one to expose him as a pro?
Yeah, I think he was. First one, to really test him anyway, and really show where he is and put him in deep water. But yeah, I mean, like you said, Inoue was 36 during that fight.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And he was down, wasn't he, in the 11th round and still survived.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm 29 and in the peak of my career, and Inoue obviously still had plenty left, but I think he would admit himself he's not in his peak. So it's I plan on exposing him a lot more.
Do you think being out for a year will that affect and in your way as far as inactivity?
Hard to say. I don't think it's ever positive to be out of the ring that long, but I do think that 12 months out of the ring for some people who maybe don't live the life and maybe blow up in weight and don't do much training, then obviously that's 12 months is going to be a bit of a burden and you're going to show some ring rust. But I think with a guy like Inoue, as far as I can tell, seems to be the sort of guy that keeps himself in the gym and keeps himself in good shape.
Very professional,
Always, like myself, the true professional. So I don't think that's a major factor in the fight, but I guess how everyone handles that time away, everyone's different. So he might show a bit of rust. So we've got to prepare for the best version of Inoue, and going and expecting him to be, better than ever. So
at his best.
It's not something. Yeah, that's exactly right.
So you could be the third Australian to beat a great Japanese fighter. Famishon and Lionel Rose both defeated Fighting Arata, and Inoue sort of classed in that same bracket as Arata. So you could be our third Australian. Let's hope so. I think you're going to be.
That's right. Yeah, that's right, mate.
Yeah.
It's very exciting to have that history, behind us with like you said, with Rose and Famishon having achieved what I'm trying to do. Like you said, they're rating Inoue as much as they rated Arata. So, and obviously they, especially Rose went over there as a big underdog. So
yeah, exactly.
He went over there and did exactly what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
So for me to have the opportunity to go over there and do that, one shows it can be done because it's been done before, but it also makes it a bit special to have the chance to go over there and create a bit of repeated history for our sport. Which
I think you're going to do it, Jason. I think you're certainly going to do it over there, buddy. And we're all behind you, mate. And thanks for flying the flag so high for Australia internationally, mate. Mate, could you just tell me a little bit about your team? Tony Tulls does a great job as your manager.
Yeah, mate. He does a fantastic job. And obviously, since Tony linked us up and we signed the deal with Top Rank, everything's just been sensational. The opportunities that we've been given. In a year like this year where a lot of Australian fighters unfortunately haven't been able to fight.
Yeah.
Well, me and Andrew have been able to go and fight on the biggest stage in Las Vegas and been given the opportunities of a lifetime. So Tony and Top Rank have done a fantastic job, and obviously us training with Angelo Hire and Tony Knobs, who's our assistant coach.
Oh, good.
We've just been going from strength to strength, so it's certainly very exciting. And like you said, me and Andrew both really want to fly the flag for Australian boxing and try and achieve something special.
And you've got Danny Green there. He's your promoter too, right, in Australia?
He's just a great mate.
Yeah.
Great mate of ours, really. He did promote our fight, our last fight in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something that's guaranteed it to be a continued thing, but Greenie has just always supported me and Andrew as much as he can. He was the one that formed a relationship and connected us with Tony Tolge and with Angelo Hyder. And I speak to Greenie, weekly at least, and he's always there to, just give us some advice or have a chat and, use his experience He's been amazing, his support for me and Andrew, so can't thank him enough as well.
Oh, that's fantastic, Jason. Well, Jason, once again, mate, thanks very much for having a talk today, mate. That's great, mate. And, mate, I'll put all that together, mate, and I'll put it up on